Welcome. Today we're exploring the top 5 rare United States of America Washington quarter-dollar coins, each valued for different conditions, key mint marks, and special varieties that collectors actively search for. From early silver Washington quarters to low mintage issues and notable error coins, these quarters can be worth far more than face value whether they're found in circulated, uncirculated, or proof condition. Mint marks like P, D, S, and even no mint mark play a major role in determining rarity and collector demand. Let's get started. First up, the United States of America Washington quarter-dollar coin from 1967 without a mint mark in striking black condition, a coin that carries not only historical weight but also a mysterious and dramatic appearance. At first glance, a 1967 Washington quarter may seem like just another piece of old silver-colored currency, but when you see one in a darkened, almost black condition, it immediately commands attention and invites closer inspection. The year 1967 was a remarkable time in American history, filled with social change, economic shifts, and technological advancement, and this quarter quietly moved through that transformative era in the hands of millions of Americans. One of the most interesting aspects of the 1967 quarter is the absence of a mint mark, which was intentional during this period because the United States Mint temporarily removed mint marks from coins between 1965 and 1967 to discourage coin hoarding. This means that although the coin was produced at facilities like Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, no mint mark appears on the surface, adding a unique historical twist to these specific years. By 1967, Washington quarters were no longer struck in 90% silver as they had been before 1965, but instead were made with a copper core layered between outer sheets of nickel, giving them a distinctive clad composition. Over time, exposure to air, moisture, and handling can cause certain quarters to develop dark toning, and in some cases, a deep black surface that transforms the coin's appearance dramatically. This blackened condition may result from natural oxidation, storage conditions, or environmental exposure, and when evenly distributed, it can give the coin a bold and antique look. The obverse features the dignified profile of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, and even in dark condition, the outline of Washington's face remains strong and commanding. The inscription "In God We Trust" appears to the left of Washington's portrait, while Liberty stretches across the top, and the date 1967 anchors the coin firmly in its historical context. In circulated condition with black toning, some of the finer details such as hair strands or cheek contours may appear softened, yet the overall design retains its recognizable strength. Turning the coin over reveals the powerful eagle design on the reverse, wings spread wide in a symbol of freedom and national pride. Above the eagle, United States of America curves along the rim, while E pluribus unum appears above the bird's head, and quarter dollar is boldly inscribed along the bottom. In black condition, the raised areas of the design may contrast subtly against darker recessed fields, creating a dramatic visual depth that enhances the coin's character. Circulated examples of the 1967 quarter often show small contact marks, edge wear, and softened high points, all signs of years spent moving through everyday commerce. This coin may have paid for groceries, gasoline, movie tickets, or bus fares during the late 1960s, quietly participating in daily American life. Each scratch and darkened patch tells a silent story of its journey, connecting modern collectors to the hands that once exchanged it decades ago. The absence of a mint mark during these special years makes the 1967 quarter instantly recognizable to knowledgeable collectors familiar with this unique chapter in minting history. Although millions were produced, not every coin survives with distinctive toning, and blackened examples can stand out due to their bold and unusual appearance. Collectors often debate whether dark toning enhances or detracts from value, but when the surface remains stable and attractive, it can add a sense of mystery and individuality. Understanding the coin's worth requires examining the overall detail, strike quality, and eye appeal, even when heavy toning is present. The clad composition introduced in the mid-1960s marked a new era in American coinage, and the 1967 quarter represents one of the earliest examples of this modern metallic structure. Holding this coin connects you directly to a period of transition in United States mint history, when economic pressures reshaped the nation's coin production. The deep black surface gives the coin an almost antique presence, reminding collectors that time leaves visible marks on metal just as it does on history. While most circulated 1967 quarters carry modest value, certain examples with exceptional preservation or unusual characteristics can attract serious interest. Close examination is always essential, as errors, striking anomalies, or unique toning patterns can elevate a common coin into something extraordinary. This is why searching through old coin collections or inherited jars of change can sometimes reveal surprising treasures hidden in plain sight. Even a coin that appears dark and worn at first glance may hold untapped potential waiting to be recognized by a careful eye. And in rare and exceptional circumstances, a Washington $quarter coin like this has reached a value of $45,000. Next up, the United States of America Washington $quarter coin from 1972 without a mint mark in good condition, a coin that may look simple but carries decades of history and surprising potential. At first glance, a 1972 Washington quarter might seem like just another coin you would receive in change at a store, but when you take a closer look, you begin to realize that this quarter represents a specific era of American culture, economy, and minting history. The year 1972 was a dynamic time in the United States, marked by political events, technological growth, and social change, and this quarter quietly circulated through that period, passing from one hand to another in everyday transactions. One important detail about this coin is the absence of a mint mark, which for 1972 typically indicates it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, since coins from that facility did not consistently carry the P mint mark during that era. Philadelphia has been at the heart of American coin production since the late 18th century, and a 1972 quarter without a mint mark continues that long-standing tradition. By 1972, Washington quarters were composed of a copper core sandwiched between layers of nickel, a clad composition introduced in 1965 after silver was removed from circulating quarters. In good condition, this coin retains strong detail while showing light, honest signs of circulation, including minor contact marks and slight smoothing on the highest points of the design. The obverse features the familiar profile of George Washington, facing left, designed by John Flanagan, a portrait that has become one of the most recognized images in American coinage. Even in circulated but good condition, Washington's facial features remain clear, with visible definition in his hair ribbon, jawline, and overall profile. The word Liberty arches boldly above his head, while "In God We Trust" appears to the left, and the date 1972 is placed prominently below the portrait. The surface in good condition often shows a soft silver-gray tone, sometimes with subtle hints of natural toning that develop over time due to exposure and handling. Turning the coin over reveals the iconic eagle reverse design, wings spread wide in a powerful display of national pride and strength. Above the eagle, United States of America curves around the top rim, with E pluribus unum positioned above the eagle's head, and $quarter inscribed firmly along the bottom edge. In good condition, the eagle's feathers remain mostly defined, and the wreath beneath it still shows visible detail, even if slightly softened from circulation. This quarter may have been used in vending machines, grocery stores, arcades, or for paying tolls, serving as a small but essential part of daily American life in the early 1970s. Each tiny mark or light scratch represents part of its journey, reflecting years of movement through countless transactions. Collectors often appreciate coins in good condition because they balance historical authenticity with enough preserved detail to showcase the original design. Although 1972 quarters were produced in large numbers, not every example survives with strong eye appeal, making well-preserved circulated coins desirable among enthusiasts. Understanding the coin's value requires careful examination of strike quality, surface preservation, and overall visual attractiveness. Even small differences in condition can influence collector interest, especially when the coin displays clean fields and sharp lettering. The clad composition of the 1972 quarter also represents an important chapter in United States mint history, marking the continued adaptation to economic realities after the removal of silver. Holding this coin in your hand connects you to a specific moment in American history, when the nation was evolving in technology, culture, and finance. The absence of a mint mark may seem minor, but for collectors it signals the coin's origin and provides insight into minting practices of the time. Coins like this remind us that currency is more than metal and denomination, it is a symbol of shared national identity and daily human interaction. While most circulated 1972 quarters carry modest value, certain high-grade examples or unusual varieties can attract much stronger collector demand. Close inspection is always important, as mint errors or exceptional preservation can transform an ordinary coin into a remarkable find. Searching through old collections or inherited jars of change can sometimes reveal quarters that stand out from the rest. Even a coin that appears common at first glance may hold hidden potential waiting to be recognized by a trained eye. And in rare and exceptional circumstances, a Washington $quarter coin like this has reached a value of $45,000. Next up, the United States of America Washington $quarter coin from 1979 with a D mint mark in circulated condition, a coin that may look ordinary but carries decades of American legacy. At first glance, a 1979 Washington quarter might seem like just another coin you would receive in change, but when you notice the small D mint mark and understand its background, the story becomes much more interesting. The D mint mark indicates that this quarter was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the most productive mints in the United States, known for producing billions of coins that circulate across the nation. The year 1979 sits at the edge of a new decade, a time when America was experiencing economic challenges, cultural shifts, and technological growth, and this quarter quietly participated in everyday transactions during that transformative period. By 1979, Washington quarters were firmly established in their clad composition, made with a copper core layered between outer sheets of nickel, a structure introduced in 1965 after silver was removed from circulating quarters. In circulated condition, this coin shows honest signs of wear, including light contact marks, small scratches, and slight smoothing on the highest points of the design. The obverse features the iconic left-facing profile of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, a portrait that has symbolized American leadership and heritage since 1932. Even with years of handling, Washington's facial outline remains clearly visible, though finer details in his hair and cheek may appear gently softened from circulation. Above his head, the bold inscription Liberty arches across the top rim, while I in God We Trust appears to the left of his portrait, and the date 1979 is placed below, accompanied by the small but significant D mint mark. That D mint mark confirms its origin in Denver, adding a specific identity to the coin and helping collectors distinguish it from Philadelphia and San Francisco issues of the same year. The surface of a circulated 1979 quarter often displays a soft silver-gray tone, sometimes with subtle natural toning that develops over time due to exposure and use. Turning the coin over reveals the powerful eagle reverse design, wings spread wide in a symbol of strength and freedom. Above the eagle, United States of America curves proudly along the rim, while E pluribus unum appears just above the bird's head, and quarter dollar is inscribed boldly along the bottom. In circulated condition, the eagle's feathers may show slight smoothing, yet the overall design remains strong and clearly recognizable. This coin likely traveled through grocery stores, restaurants, movie theaters, vending machines, and gas stations, playing a quiet but essential role in daily American life. Each mark on its surface represents a chapter in its journey, showing that it was not stored away but actively used for years. Collectors often appreciate circulated coins because they combine historical authenticity with accessible affordability, making them ideal for building complete date and mint mark sets. Although millions of 1979 D quarters were struck, not all circulated examples are equal in eye appeal or detail preservation. Coins with cleaner surfaces, fewer deep marks, and sharper details tend to stand out among others from the same year. The late 1970s marked a period of economic adjustment in the United States, and this quarter was part of that financial landscape, facilitating countless everyday purchases. Holding this coin in your hand connects you directly to that era, offering a tangible link to the past. The clad composition also represents the evolution of U.S. coinage, reflecting how the mint adapted to changing metal prices and economic realities. For collectors, the 1979 D quarter can also be interesting when examined for possible mint errors or unusual striking characteristics. While most circulated examples carry modest value, certain coins in exceptional condition or with rare varieties can generate stronger demand in the collector market. Close examination under proper lighting can reveal important details, such as the sharpness of lettering, the strength of the strike, and the overall surface quality. Coins like this remind us that even everyday currency carries artistry, symbolism, and a connection to national identity. The combination of Washington's portrait and the majestic eagle design creates a timeless look that has endured for generations. Searching through rolls of quarters or old collections can sometimes uncover pieces that are more valuable than expected, especially when condition and rarity align. And in rare and exceptional circumstances, a Washington quarter-dollar coin like this has reached a value of $45,000. Next up, the United States of America Washington quarter-dollar coin from 1994 with the D mint mark in circulated condition, a coin that many people overlook but collectors continue to examine with great curiosity. At first glance, a 1994 Washington quarter may seem like simple pocket change, something you might spend without hesitation, yet behind its familiar design lies history, craftsmanship, and the potential for surprising value. The small D mint mark beneath the date tells us that this coin was struck at the Denver Mint, a facility known for producing billions of coins that circulate across the United States every year. The year 1994 represents a period of economic stability and rapid technological development in America, and this quarter quietly moved through that era, facilitating countless daily transactions. In circulated condition, the coin shows natural wear from years of handling, including small contact marks, light scratches, and slight smoothing on the highest points of the design. These signs of circulation are not damage but proof of life, showing that this quarter actively served its purpose in the economy. The obverse features the enduring portrait of George Washington, facing left, a design created by John Flanagan that has symbolized leadership and national pride since 1932. Even after years of circulation, Washington's profile remains strong and recognizable, though the finer strands of hair and delicate details may be gently softened. Above his head, liberty stretches confidently across the top rim, while "I in God we trust" appears to the left of his portrait, and the date 1994 sits clearly below, accompanied by the D Mint mark. That D Mint mark connects this coin specifically to Denver, distinguishing it from Philadelphia and San Francisco issues of the same year. The surface of a circulated 1994 D quarter typically displays a silver-gray tone, sometimes enhanced by subtle natural toning that develops over time due to handling and storage. Turning the coin over reveals the iconic eagle reverse design, wings spread wide in a symbol of freedom and strength that defined the Washington quarter for decades. Above the eagle, United States of America curves along the rim, with E pluribus unum positioned above the eagle's head, and quarter dollar boldly inscribed at the bottom. In circulated condition, the eagle's feathers may show slight smoothing, yet the overall structure of the design remains clear and powerful. By 1994, quarters were struck using a clad composition of copper and nickel, giving them durability for heavy circulation in vending machines, cash registers, and everyday exchanges. If you look closely at the coin's edge, you may notice the thin copper core sandwiched between the outer nickel layers, a distinctive feature of modern quarters. This particular quarter may have been used for parking meters, laundromats, arcade games, bus fares, or small purchases at neighborhood stores. Each small mark and faint scratch represents part of its journey, connecting modern collectors to the daily routines of Americans in the mid-1990s. Collectors often build complete sets of Washington quarters organized by year and mint mark, making a circulated 1994 D example an essential piece in that collection. Although millions were produced, not all circulated quarters maintain balanced wear and pleasing eye appeal, which can make certain examples more desirable. Coins with cleaner surfaces, sharper lettering, and stronger detail tend to stand out among other circulated pieces from the same year. The Washington Quarter Series remains one of the most recognized and collected coin designs in American history, and the 1994 D issue represents part of its long and steady legacy. Holding this coin in your hand offers a tangible connection to the recent past, reminding us that even modern coins will one day become historical artifacts. The D Mint mark also reflects the importance of the Denver Mint in supplying coinage to meet national demand during the late 20th century. Even in circulated condition, the combination of Washington's dignified portrait and the majestic eagle reverse continues to convey strength and tradition. While most circulated 1994 D quarters carry modest value, certain coins in exceptional condition or with rare minting errors can draw significant attention from collectors. Close inspection under proper lighting can reveal the sharpness of strike, clarity of inscriptions, and overall surface preservation that influence a coin's desirability. Searching through rolls of quarters or inherited collections can sometimes reveal coins that are more interesting than they first appear. Even a coin that seems common may hide subtle characteristics that elevate it above the ordinary. And in rare and exceptional circumstances, a Washington quarter dollar coin like this has reached a value of $45,000.